Hello and good evening. And yes, you are back with the crew. Honestly, people, I did not think that we were going to be able to pull this one off tonight. As you can tell, I'm down in Elizabeth's office, and this is makeshift internet angle we got going on here. So long as Starlink holds up, we should be good to go. Nasty weather here. It's been not quite as cold as I understand the Midwest and East has been, but stormy, high winds. It's been crazy, flooding type stuff. Anyway, I'm fine. I'm dry. I'm all good to go. I see a lot of the same old faces in here, and it's all my people. Love y'all. And anyway, Solar Sammy, Northern, Nancy, Tony McKinney, Wayne, love you, Wayno, XRP, Renegade, obviously. Joanna's in the house. We have David. David, I can't wait to meet you guys, see you guys. Actually, any of you going to the proper party, I will be going there. I don't know if I'm going to get a microphone. I was told I was. And if I do, hang tight because I have a really fun story that I'm going to tell at that party. And I think you'll all kind of get a big laugh out of it, but you will also get a deeper understanding of the man that you watch. So, and no, I am not a better man than any other. And no fortunate or nor smarter than any other. I'm simply a person that can relate to people, and I appreciate people, and I love them for who they are and what they are, not how much they make or what they drive or what house they have. Never was much into that whole scene. Yeah, Ryan's in the house. We got Luke, Liv, saw Liv pop in. Hydro, it's all good, man. It's all good here. I have a whole list of stuff that I hope I'm going to be able to get to tonight, plus a couple of questions at the end of the night. I actually have a date with a lovely blonde who you may or may not remember, my gorgeous wife, Elizabeth, talented and beautiful wife, Elizabeth. So we have a sauna date soon because it's been so cold all day. We heat our house with firewood, so there's time. It kind of goes like this. Sometimes it's warm in there and sometimes it's not as warm. It's been one of those days, but it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited that you're all here with me tonight. Now let's get down to business because I have like 8 topics. A couple of them I just came up with right before the show, and I'm excited to bring those to you because they're a concept that I've been kind of working on in my head, but I think they're starting to make more sense than ever before. So stick around towards the end of the show. But I do have a hard stop at 1 hour. Okay, guys, I keep hearing this Black Swan thing. I don't know. It's something about a dark duck or something. I don't know, like not a white swan, but a black swan thing event happening. And man, do I hear more and more and more. But every time I hear somebody say it, I say it myself. So, let's call it what it is. I want everybody to understand that's what was, not what could be. Everybody's looking in the rear view mirror and trying to equate where we're headed with where we've been and where money was and what money was and who printed it and who was in control of it and who was in charge of it. All of that clearly is changing with our current government and regime. We are at a point now where decisions are being made on a financial level that I've never experienced in my lifetime. I've never seen anything like this. Love or hate the man for who he is, Elon included, they're doing something. Even if you don't think it's the thing they should be doing, they're doing something. They're making an effort. And instead of, we're going to get right on that, one of my favorite things was when they blew up the pipeline, Nord Stream. They blew it up. Somebody blew it up. It's just so mysterious that the U.S. Navy was in charge of that whole Black Sea, but it blew up under their watch, So, but anyway, Biden must have said 10 times, we're going to get to the bottom of it. We're going to find out who did it and how they did it. And we're going to get back to you on that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that we just put up with that. And then a year goes by, it's like, what pipeline? So I think those days are kind of behind us. I think seeing a little bit more honesty out of these people. Yes, Becky, I am planning on getting a hold of that subject. The ETF is blowing up. I think you guys have heard with the XRP ETF. It's going to, I personally think over time it will outsell Ethereum's. I don't know that it's going to do it right away. I don't know that enough people really understand what XRP is compared to Ethereum. That's just a knowledge base. That's just a matter of people figuring out what it is that you and I already know. This is going to be a great time to be alive, guys. You are going to really appreciate this. I want to get back to the Black Swan. The Black Swan event could be a lot of things, right? It could be aliens, could be wars, could be, I don't know, earthquakes. It could be, I don't know, some COVID thing. Who knows what they're going to try and pull. And it's certainly at this point, you would think they would try and pull something because they're really getting exposed by this new regime of government. So you would think they would like. The one thing I know is that they don't have enough class or character to just bow out gracefully and then change to what everybody wants. No, they just go all in. They double down and they just keep doubling down and just making bigger mistakes and digging deeper holes. And it's very, very frustrating to be somebody who's lived their life to be represented by that group of people. Yeah. You want to be a proud person of your nation, but when they represent the common taxpayer the way they don't, and yet you're supposed to be proud of your country in the way, you'd like to believe that we're all trying to tackle the problems of life so that we can all have a better life, and food and shelter and clean water would kind of be, you would think, you and I's first agenda. It doesn't seem to be even on their agenda. So that's very frustrating to me. And now I'm rambling on about that when I really wanted to finish up on a Black Swan. The Black Swan event, in my opinion, is not going to occur like the way we've seen it in the past. If it happens, it's going to be, they're going to attempt to make it look like it's Mr. Trump's fault. It's going to be something along those lines. Yeah. It's not at all lost on this man that they're capable. They could do all of it. They'll blow this whole thing up if they feel threatened, right? It's a sad state of affairs when you actually think about the world that way. It really is. But for tonight, I'm going to say that I don't think we're close or even remotely close to a Black Swan event. I want everybody to understand if we don't have a Black Swan event, you are not even remotely close to being bullish. The bullishness of what's happening to our accounting, to the affairs, to the accountability, to the three-letter agencies, and the fact that we are adopting crypto in every level of our government. And let's remember, who's the number one holders per capita of crypto in the world? It's Americans, and there's nobody even close. Okay. That tells you that this regime understands that. So what do we have? We have a $3 trillion market, right? So if crypto were to go to zero or have a massive crash, a $3 trillion loss to the current regime and the way they want to go forward and the way they put their label on this administration, there's absolutely no way they want that to happen. So for the first time, maybe in your lifetime, you're gambling with the house, and I mean the White House on your side. You're investing, obviously, you're not gambling, but a $3 trillion loss to Trump and a total collapse of the crypto market would absolutely be presidential devastation for him and his entire regime. That is not going to happen. They're going to do everything they can. They're going to print money and buy crypto if they have to. As we know, 22 states already have decided that they're going to put it on their put it up for vote for legislation for them to buy Bitcoin. 22 states tells me one thing. That means when they get to 25 of the 50, the other 50 are in panic mode. You cannot be the last guy to the party. That's not the way you operate. You see 20 other states doing it, and then you must put a panel together to find out what are the good reasons why we don't own crypto. And there aren't any. And the whole world's figuring that out. When Vladimir Putin comes out and says that Bitcoin cannot be stopped, it's not a rug pull. He did the math. He did the research. He understands what you and I have known for years. You can't stop this. This is not an army. You can't just put a gun to Bitcoin's head. And not just Bitcoin. The top, like I say, the top 10 coins are absolutely going to be adopted and put into a reserve. This bullishness that I'm talking about is bigger, is far bigger than mankind even grasps at this point. Now, I'm going to get into a couple of really cool reasons as to why that is, but I'm going to let the dog out real quick because the dog is barking at me. Otherwise, she won't let me stop. She will keep barking until the show is over. Okay, so the last time I've been this bullish in crypto was never, actually. When I first got into crypto, I started thinking to myself, okay, I understand it. I get it. The math makes sense to me. How's this going to fail? So then you spend 6 months to a year and a half trying to get it to fail in your mind, and you can't. And when you can't, you say, okay, it's time to invest. The world's coming to those conclusions. They're coming there each state by state. It's happening now, right? It's happening now. Committees are being formed so that we can actually have people to direct us and guide us into the proper way of investing going forward. Let's talk about investing in the past. And the old profile or model that's always been there has been in stocks. In stocks, you create a board membership, and then you have a CEO, and then you have a CFO, and then you have these 12 members that basically direct the direction of what the company should do. In years past, when they were honest about these boards, and when they were, let's say, less concerned about themselves and they were more concerned about shareholders, they would make sure that they made profit every single year. Corporations do not care about profits any longer. Why? Well, because they have stock buybacks. They also have every pension and every 401k in the world, basically in the world, buying their stocks. Every month, there's billions of dollars being kicked into the stock market in this direction because they're part of people's pensions. It's not even a matter of whether or not we're going to buy these stocks. We're going to buy them. Well, when the corruption is exposed on a corporate level, and when we realize that over 80% of all of these corporations are what we call zombie corporations. Definition of a zombie corporation is essentially that They can't pay to keep the lights on. They don't make enough profit. They owe more than they're worth, and they don't generate enough capital to create any form of a futuristic profit. So what happens is they start selling next year's profits and the year after profit and the year after. So they start selling themselves out into the future just for today's returns. This is a mess. That's what happened in .com. That's what happened in many others. They were selling out like 10 and 20 and 200 times profits. This does not need to happen when you base your economy or your financial investment on crypto. Crypto doesn't have that burden. It does not have the burden of having to generate profits. It's a purchase and hold. However, the beautiful thing with AMMs and DEXs and all the rest of it, and the fact that you're going to be able to collateralize your crypto, you are going to earn those returns that would have normally gone to shareholders or the board of directors, and the board of directors would have skimmed golf vacations until they're blind, and stock buybacks to prop the price up. We don't have to do that anymore because, see, our crypto makes dollars and cents. Our crypto has a ledger. Our crypto actually is something that is scarce and something that serves a purpose and a use case and a utility. That utility is value to all mankind. And when everybody starts to get it the way you and I get it, they're going to have to understand it. And they're going to say, well, why am I buying stocks when 80% of the stocks I own are zombie corporations? They're not going to do that because they're going to be able to make minimum 8 to 10% on their money just with DEXs, right? We already know that. Okay. Where I really want to take this show tonight is a concept that is even bigger than DEXs. Okay. And this is, I don't want to lose anybody on this concept. I'm just kind of going on a rant here. I'm sorry, guys. That's kind of what I do, right? But this concept to me is bigger than DEXs, AMMs, or any sort of staking program, or bigger than any form of returns or collateralizing your coins with an institution. And maybe you both have keys to the collateral and you get, presented whatever interest rate or return on your loan to the bank or institution. It's bigger than that. Let's get back to what is currently happening in America today. They're trying to weed out corruption. They're trying to eliminate the fat out of the system. This is making a lot of government employees unemployed for a very valid reason, most of these people. So now that they're going to lose their jobs, they're going to need what? They can't be on the dole. They can't be on unemployment. They have to go out and find a job, as we know, and most of them, we understand, they're not qualified to even run a lemonade stand, for God's sakes. They're just not, they're not business minded. They're not entrepreneur people. They've come up through the system and everything's been handed to them. They never had to earn anything. They simply had to get votes in a populist system, right? So why am I bringing these people up? Because these people, along with many, many thousand, tens of millions of people, are about to, over the next 2 to 10 years, I'll say, are going to be unemployed. Why? Because of AI, because of crypto, because of robots. My wife wants a bot, I mean, we're going to get one day, right? We're all going to have one. Well, China already understands. That's why they're way out ahead of most countries when it comes to bots. Why? Because their population is in massive decline. They're not having kids, and it's too late to have kids today because kids are 20 years out from being of any use in the labor force. Well, labor isn't your thing anyway, because let's go back a few decades. In Japan at one time had the cheapest labor. They made quality products. And then it went to China, and then it goes to Vietnam, and then it goes to India, because they exploit the physical labor of the cheapest continent possible. Well, we've done that now. The planet has gone as far as it can go to that extent. We've exploited all the cheap labor of the world, and all the sweatshops and the rest of it. It's not where we're going. We're going to mechanical slavery. We're going to bots and machinery that's going to produce virtually everything for all of us. I know it's 5, 10, 20 years out. I know. I understand that. How do we get people employed? Well, let's see. If the current regime is cutting all these people, firing all this dead weight, and it's nothing but dead weight having people on the dole, how are we going to pull that off, Allan? It doesn't make any sense. Well, glad you asked, for number one. Number two, crypto, as you know, we understand the level of DeFi, and DeFi is number one answer, obviously, with your DEXs and your staking of your coins, of course, and your collateral. This next one is the path in which I believe we're all going to go. Now, I want to start small, and then I'm going to go really big picture here with you. Small means, and it's not that small, this is very big, mining coins. In other words, our nation, this nation, would like to mine Bitcoin. It already is mining Bitcoin. It would like to do that. It would like to print, or should I say, print as much money as they need to create as much mining facility to keep the Bitcoins being created, not just Bitcoin, other mining coins, keep that within the continent, at least, hopefully in America. That energy use, as Trump said, was drill, baby, drill, which means that you're going to take all of that energy, you're going to turn it into electricity, and you're going to mine, not just mine. Like I said, that's the small picture. It's bigger than you think, but it is the small picture. The next level, in my opinion, is we get states, they're already buying Bitcoin, we already know that. We get states and a level of community or government to eliminate taxation, because remember, you're going to be employed less. So how do we represent that income? How do we replace that income? Sorry. We replace that income through collateralization, staking. But the next one is what we talk about on this channel is stable coins being the next level of bonds. Okay, so you have this president who's whittled off all the fat. He's got it down. He's tariffing everybody. Well, tariffs kind of put a bad taste in other people's mouths. So what you really need to do is you need to get your nation state of people to outproduce. So your GDP outproduces your nation's expenses. That's why he's cutting costs. So your GDP now has to come from somewhere. Bots, AI, sure. A lot of that's going to come from there. A lot of it's going to come from DeFi, and a lot of it's going to come from mining with all that cheaper electricity. But what does every great nation do when they need to generate money or capital or a municipality? They create bonds. Okay, hang on now. Nations, when they go to war, they create war bonds. The reason why is because they need capital up front, and they'll pay you, a coupon rate monthly for the rest of the term of the bond. It could be a 10-year bond or a 30-year bond. Doesn't matter, right? They pay you the coupon rate, percentage. It can be 5, 10%, whatever it may be. You currently now have the makings technologically to make a bond like that. Why and how is he going to do it like that? Because he knows he's about to put half of this country out of employment. So What does somebody want to do to generate income? They want to buy a bond, or they need to purchase bond, or with their pension, they would invest in this bond. And you say, well, gosh, Allan, bonds don't pay anything and bonds are on the way out. What are you even talking about? Doesn't make any sense to me. Well, all you need to do is a little bit of research and look into the 4 greatest bonds virtually in American global history have been created over the last 3 years. All 3 of them are 3 of the 4 are directly related to Bitcoin. And they're astronomical returns. Astronomical returns are being generated by owning a bond that actually either mines Bitcoin or purchases Bitcoin. In the case of MSTR, they are producing a product. What is the product they're producing? They're buying crypto with it. They're buying crypto because they know that the more crypto, the more XRP they purchase, the more scarce the XRP becomes, the more it generates income, and the more the people want to do the DeFi with that coin. They get to do all the DeFi with the coin at a banking institutional level. That generates income for the banking institution. The citizens are encouraged to purchase these. Why? Because you're supporting your nation, number one. Number two, it has ridiculous returns. The single greatest bond ever made, 2 of the single greatest bonds ever made were MSTRs in the last 2 years. Those sort of returns are very duplicatable. You could do this over and over and over again. You could do this with XRP over and over and over and over. Why? Because it's scarce and because it's going to be in more and more demand. And why? Because that DeFi of each one of those coins within the bond gives you access to. As a bondholder, you own the coin, you own the company, and you own the returns. And if it were to ever default, those are yours. So you get your coins back. But you get a coupon rate. You get a monthly income. You get an annual income. This is how future, I want you to think now, I'm talking about 2 to 10 years out now. You're going to want to purchase these bonds to support your community, your neighbor, your nation state. That return is pure profit. There's no middleman. There's no loss here. There's no one's out. No brick and mortar has to be created. So you have a man who's trying to turn a financial system around, and let's look around. How did he do that? He raised capital to build all the buildings that he ever made. He raised capital to build the casinos that he created. How do you raise capital if you're a nation? It's right up his alley. It's right where he's headed. I don't know this for a fact, although I discussed this with a few pretty sharp people, and they're all like, well, that would work. Why wouldn't that work, Allan? I go, well, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? You're the smart banker guy. Why don't you tell me how that would fail? I don't get there's not a lot of people getting back with me on that. So let's recap just a little bit. If you're holding crypto, you're holding, in my opinion, the single greatest asset you can hold going forward for mankind. Because more Americans hold it, and you have a regime or a government that actually starting to appear anyways to care about what the citizens own. Number two, you're seeing an entire economic system being built because the old institutions are collapsing. Those zombie companies are falling. So let's go back 1 second. Let's go back to where I started the show. When a black swan comes, what are you going to want to hold? You're going to want probably precious metals. You're going to want crypto. You're going to want a home. You're probably going to want income. You're not going to want to hold a stock of a company that makes no income, no revenue. What do we know about DeFi? Is we know holding crypto does earn a revenue. It does generate revenue when it's a collateralized revenue. We also know that those bondholders of crypto coins, there's going to be crypto coins and bonds. I said that on Zach's show 4 years ago. When you get this big picture, they have no other direction to go. Okay. And now I want to talk about gold here for a minute, because a lot of gold bugs really give me a hard time about this. I'm sorry. I love gold. I prefer silver. I really love precious metals. There's something very interesting happening right now. And I know central banks and a lot of people are buying gold, and the demand for gold is through the roof right now. And it has been for a few months now. There's something very unique happening here. And what's happening is one thing, and it's missing something. And I keep thinking to myself, we're missing something. What are we missing? Let's see. Vladimir Putin told his people for the last 10 years to buy gold. Xi Jinping's been telling his people to buy gold. India's been telling their people for decades. What is Trump not saying? Why is Trump not telling you to buy gold when it truly appears that he cares about the little man? And it does seem like he does care about them being screwed over by the government. Why is he not advising you to buy gold? Why is he all in on crypto and not gold? Yeah, that's what I did. I shrugged my shoulders. That's why I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. Why isn't he telling us all to do that? It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe he will later. Maybe I'm just, thinking about something that hasn't happened yet. Maybe he's going to say, hey, it's getting close to crunch time. But that's my big black swan question to everybody. Why is he not promoting precious metals? If he really thinks that the future of all monetary systems are going to be backed or based, or this Basel III is going to be generated here, why isn't he coming out and saying, look, if you've got $50 a month extra, maybe you should buy this instead of my meme coin? And what's he going to do with the profits of the meme coin? See, all of that is questions that none of us have the answers to, but I'm telling you right now, there's bigger picture moving forward for these crypto bonds that I'm discussing with you tonight. There's a man, and I know many people in the XRP family don't like the man, and I'm tired of people telling me about what a schmuck he is, and they've never met the man. That's unfortunate. I've never met him either, but there's a man by the name of Howard Lutnick. And people think he's the problem. And I'm sorry, he's not. He's not your problem. But he is a very interesting part to this puzzle because he cares about employees. He builds his entire company since 9/11, when he lost 400 people died in his building. I think it was almost 500. They were at the top floor of the first building, and they all went to their deaths. So we understand where that went. And he paid all those families back. The earnings of all those people that passed. I think it took him almost a decade to pay those peoples for their loved ones and the people that perished in the building. Not many CEOs, no CEOs have done that. None that I know of. That's the kind of heart he has. So don't be careful about what you listen to other people say about different people. But let's get back to the man now. What is his talent? Well, he's an incredible businessman, incredible, worth hundreds of billions of dollars, tens of billions anyway, that I'm pretty sure of. Loved by all of his employees. That's a good sign. What else is he good at? Oh, bonds. Doggone, he's really good at bonds. And everybody wanted him to be the SEC director. No. Oh. No, what did they make him? What did they make a man who loves employees, loves people, has more money than he can spend? He only wants to give it back and he's working for no salary for our government. He's the commerce director. What does commerce do? Commerce creates opportunity, Better Business Bureau. It's community government on a corporate business, small scale business level. He's generating businesses on a small scale to pay for people. And he knows, Trump knows, and many people know that there's not going to be a ton of employment going forward now, is there? AI bots, already went over that. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs in this new economy. You have to employ those people. Who's in charge of making sure that happens? Howard Lutnick. Look it up. The man is going to create bonds with crypto, and the bond shareholders are absolutely going to strive because it's simple math. When you want a job, but you can't find a job, but if your bond pays your rent and your mortgage and your bills, you don't need a job. Let the bot do the job. But what does the purchasing of the bond do for you? Supports others to be able to buy the bonds. It's a flywheel effect. It's brilliant. Came to me one night, and I'm not alone. It's absolutely coming to a crypto near you. And let's remember, a couple of Thursdays ago, I was talking about something very, very important to many of us. And that's coming as well. Banks holding crypto. It's now legal for them to do so. But what do you and I want? More crypto. How do we get it? We're going to borrow money from the banks because banks don't want to hold. They love to hold the collateral. It's going to be easy collateral for them to hold. I went over that. You know how difficult it is to write a loan against a car? Some guy buys a car, drives it off the lot. It's like, well, where is it? Where's my asset that I spent $50,000 from the bank money on, and maybe he doesn't make the payments? Maybe he trashes the thing out in the field somewhere. Then what? Where's my asset? Well, crypto's a lot better asset than that. So you're going to be able to go to your local bank and not just use your paycheck to buy crypto. You're going to say, hey, what do you think about a private or personal loan? Since, XRP's gone up 5 times in the last 6 months, maybe I could go in and I could get a $10,000 loan and get some crypto. Where's the risk to the bank? They own the crypto. You make the payments. Why is that a good deal for both of you? You get to hold $10,000 worth of Bitcoin or crypto or the XRP, and you only have to pay $200 a month. And you get the valuations when it goes up. Can you imagine that flywheel effect? So when I hear people tell me, well, gosh, I don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to have to do this modern banking theory, and we're going to have to hand everybody free money. No. All you need is people like that are in this chat and that follow this channel and that understand crypto is All you need is entrepreneurs in a room. All you need is somebody creative. All you need is somebody who figures out, hey, mankind can pay mankind for software services that doesn't take the sweat off sweat lodges with children working in it. That'll be predicated to the robots. You and I get more time off. You and I get more time under the shade of a tree with lemonade. We don't need to be work debt slaves any longer, because the debt is going to be your labor. I'm telling you, kids, it's brilliant stuff. And I'm really, really excited about where crypto's going. I don't know why previous 4 years or 10 years that you and I have been in this crypto, that they couldn't figure that out. It takes brilliant minds. It takes incredible minds like David Schwartz and Elon Musk and other people who are understanding, Quincy Jones, people that can figure this code out, combined with a forward-thinking economist mind, not far more smarter than I am, but people who can figure out, how do we get everybody paid without it costing us, without us going into debt? How do we do that? It's not hard. The only reason why we don't have those answers and those solutions today is going back to the people who are currently losing their jobs in the government. They don't get entrepreneurs. They're not business people. They don't know how to generate money. Remember, when you're looking at a strategic reserve, what is that going to do? That capital is going to generate money for its citizens. What country wouldn't want to buy something to mine crypto with? For its people. Eventually, you eliminate taxation. Eventually, it pays for the upkeep of everything. This is totally achievable. You don't have to be a brilliant entrepreneur to even wrap your head around these concepts. You just have to have the willingness to care about your fellow man. And unfortunately, I don't understand how we inherited such heartless individuals in our government. They're heartless people. They're empty inside. And I can't explain it. They've been living on the spoils of our backs for so long, they just don't know any other way to do it. And no, I'm not a big revenge guy. And no, I don't want to see them all go to prison. And people put that in the chat all the time. And it's like, vengeance is not healing any of us. That's not going to make you feel better. You might think so. You go, oh, they need to go to prison forever. Yeah, whatever. No, they need to absolutely never be in a position of management again. Correct. Ever. And then you can decide what to do with them after that. That's above my pay scale, as I like to say. Man, so sorry about the long rant. Hopefully you got something. Hopefully you see opportunity in maybe levels or directions that you hadn't seen before. And maybe they're rolling this thing out slowly. But that's where it's going. You're not going to pay taxation on this planet forever. That concept of taxation is so wrong. I still don't understand why we celebrate the 4th of July. I don't. I'm sorry. Like we've lost every day since that day. You know? Yeah. Anyway, let's get to some of these questions. I want to answer some of these questions. I had so many great comments and questions about Mr. Man on last Thursday night show. I want to thank you all. That show blew up, by the way. Like, I didn't understand how This is shame on me, by the way. I didn't understand how loved Mr. Mann was by the XRP community. And if you don't know his work, you should really check into it. And if you missed last Thursday's show, you should really check that out. But I will tell you something that I say this about a lot of people, but I truly, really, really mean it when I say it. I meet a lot of people over the phone. I got to meet Mr. Mann and his lovely wife. And I will tell you the sincerity in his heart and his wife's heart and his wife's pure appreciation for her husband and his wife. After the show, we must have talked for 45 minutes. And it's truly inspiring to this man to know that people like that are in our family. He is absolutely a heart of gold. Everyone I meet, everybody I have conversation with, all of you, and it's in the hundreds now I've met over the phone, all of you are benevolent, loving, caring souls. And I don't know how I ended up here. I guess I do know how I ended up here, but I'm really at the point now where it's not even, I just expect it. You know what I mean? I just expect that the next phone call I'm going to have with somebody, and I'm just going to listen to somebody incredible. And I met another man yesterday, must have called me 10 times before we could get on the phone together. And John Cloud. And John, love you, brother, like a brother. And it was so odd because his phone number's from New Zealand. And I get on and it's a really thick Irish accent. And I'm saying to myself, I'm pretty good with nationality. This is not a Kiwi. I'm like, this is not a New Zealander on the phone. Wait, whoa. It's not Scottish. It's clearly Irish. I'm like, yeah, it was so much fun to speak with him. Talk about an incredible soul. Yes, we have Becky has a wrench now. I'm noticing some people are, where's my wrench? Again, please, when you watch my videos and you respond in the comments, be very careful. They're getting so tricky. I almost hit a like and a heart on a bot the other day. I mean, they're getting really, really sneaky. So be very careful out there with crypto right now, guys. I really want you all to succeed. And I know we all are, but in life, especially if you understand that you're deserving of success. And if you care enough about yourself, it sure helps to be able to care for others. And my desire is that all of us do very well in crypto. I know we are. We already are. I mean, who thought a presidential regime would come along that was going to be like this? I mean, nobody could even known 5 years ago that Trump was going to be a crypto guy. So, and let's face facts, even if you don't live in the US, that's important. Okay. It's truly important that even if it were Xi Jinping just going all in on crypto, it would mean a lot to me. So yeah, it's an incredible time to be in crypto, and it's an incredible time to be alive. I say that a lot, but you people are making change. You've supported this, you've demanded it, you expected it, and that's why he got on the bandwagon. He was like, his sons are looking at him like, Dad, tens of millions of people own crypto. And look what they're doing to these people that own crypto. It's not fair, Dad. This isn't right. We need to get after this. This is great technology, Dad. Sorry you don't understand it yet, but you better pull your head, because this has to be our future, Dad. because dollar digits have been corrupted. Can we turn that around? I hope so. I really, really hope so. So I'm going to answer some of these questions in here, and then I'm going to roll because I've got that date with that lovely, lovely wife of mine. We're having a rainy day. We're having a stormy day. Power went out on us, and we live kind of up in the mountains, so it's not uncommon for us. But jumped over. Thank God I had batteries and solar. But when it's raining out, you don't create a lot of electricity. So that's why I got this live stream going, is because we have battery bank. Coming to you directly from battery powered here in the Great Mountains. And yeah. So, what do we got? Yes, Oak. Fink wants, yes. Larry Fink, by the way, I don't know what happened to the man. A board hit him in the head or something. His wife kicked him out or something. I have no idea what happened to the man. The man did a 180, and he is less of a globalist than he used to be. I know he's still hanging with those folks, but he's starting to at least understand crypto to a level of tokenization of all things. You got to keep your eye on Mr. Larry Fink, because he does hold a lot of power, and the tokenization of all things could create a lot of, should I say, condense a lot of power and could be used as further tyranny, as we all know. Well, I don't think that's what's going to happen. I don't think decentralization is going to allow that to happen. And my favorite thing, way more than regulations or laws or regs or rules or any of that, is we need to make sure that peer-to-peer is legal. I love that Donald Trump is in favor of your own custody. Love that. And now his next step has to be, you can trade peer-to-peer. You don't need a middleman. You don't need a broker. You don't need an exchange. You don't need any of that. Bob has a great set of tires, and I want them. Great. How much Cardano do you want for that? Good. Fair trade. I'll take it. Let's do it. Smart contract through the tokenization. Done deal. Off. That's what we need. By the way, Elon's going to bring that with his phone and his Starlink, and we've talked about that before. Let's see. What do we have in here? Yes, thanks Joanna for posting Mr. Man and the show from last week. Excuse me. Hoofty wants a wrench. I don't know, man. That sounds risky to me. Hoofty with a wrench in his hand. Dasma, aloha. John Foster, Allan Staple, you are the best. Thanks, John. No, you guys bring it out of me. So I'd have to say it's a team crew effort, right? Yeah. The channel, Psalms 91. The channel, do you channel? Or do you have a crypto channel? Or what? Oh, you must channel. Good for you. Love channelers. Yeah. Hoofty, that'd be pretty risky. Buck 52,000. Are you worried about government centralization crypto? Yeah, I just kind of mentioned that. I thought one of the main points was sovereignty and decentralization. Yes. Maybe you wrote that before I answered pretty much that exact question. I am worried about it. And I don't. Currently, there's decentralization is working out. And I like the way it's coming about naturally. Let's remember too, guys, I meant to say this earlier. Not only are most North Americans, I'm going to use Americans because that was the study I saw, this read, was they hold more than any other nation per capita. Okay, per capita. I understand that. That's great. But let's look at the numbers of people that own these currencies. This is not Wall Street first and then Wall Street sell it to the masses. It happened the other way around. That's why when I hear people tell me, oh, Bitcoin was planned, XRP was planned, and the whole thing's only to try enslave us all and enslave us in this tyranny, and we're all in trouble, and you don't understand what you're talking about. You're promoting this, Allan. They're going to use AI and bots to ruin our lives. And maybe, but I can tell you this, they're already doing that with the dollar. I mean, I think it's comical that people tell me, oh, well, why does Elon get to know our social security number? It's like, you don't think that man could figure out your social security number if he wanted it? You understand that? And then did you hear his answer? I love that one too. They were like, well, why do you get access to everybody's social security numbers? And he's like, well, yeah, because of, I don't know, I'm honest. Because I don't need your money. Oh, and by the way, they're putting up a system to where they're going to scan your retina before you can cash your social security check. And I'm the guy trying to stop that from occurring, not make that happen. Those are the only people that you can trust. People that already have the money, who aren't poor trying to make money, who aren't stealing it from you and I. They have nothing to gain or lose other than they have everything to lose. They have nothing to gain. It's not even taking a salary. Look how much time he's spending on this stuff. Now, you cannot look a gift horse in the mouth, people. You have to really look around and ask yourself, where are all the other great entrepreneurs of the world didn't do this? You know, Mr. Zuckerberg comes to mind. Where's Jeff Bezos? Why didn't those guys pick the ball up with the last regime and say, hey, you know what? This is ridiculous. I don't need to make any more money. I own Amazon. Let's go ahead and fix this financial mess that, you know, generations have created. No, they didn't step up. It's big, guys. It's really big. And I don't care what you think of those people. I really don't. Until they say, hey, we rug pulled you all and this whole thing's a laugh and we just got rich over it. I just don't see that. Look, I don't know if you guys remember the first 10 years of Elon, he wasn't rich. Tesla didn't make any money. He's the same dude. He didn't get rich and then buy 20 yachts. I don't even think he has a yacht. Anyway, do the math, guys. Don't listen to the people who are stealing from you, tell you that nobody should be able to see your documents. No. What do you mean? Anybody could see those documents if they want to see them. Okay. I got to roll here. I've only got 5 minutes. Some of us are invested in Wayne. I love Wayne House. Some of us are invested in the stock market as well. What do you think the consequences will be to the market when the stocks are all tokenized in the companies? Boy, I don't know, Wayne, that you really want me to answer that one. I've talked about, there's a company called Seed and Company, and you guys should look them up. Seed with a C. And they are corrupt as corruption gets. Okay. They took digital control of all the shares of all Wall Street. The duplications would blow your mind. So are they going to, when they put them on blockchain, are they going to have to put all the duplications in there? Yeah, they're going to either have to do that, or they're going to have a massive stock crash to where everybody sells it down to their true stock values. I don't really want to get too deep into that because, as you guys know, I started off as, I don't know, when I was 25 years old as a stockbroker, and I don't buy stocks. I don't believe in stocks. I don't like stocks. There are a few stocks that I kind of wish I owned, but they're only in like the top 10 coins or stocks. There's a massive, I got to roll on this. Okay, this is really key, and I want everybody to listen up. Hang on, I got some tea going here. Man, it's a masala chai tea. Oh my God, with a little honey, orange blossom honey. Whew, that is me. I love that in the evenings. Okay, let's get back to the Black Swan, and I'm going to finish with this. If you haven't listened to anything else I've said all night, listen to this. This is important. This humble man's opinion only. Don't write this in stone. Don't go out and sell all your stocks tomorrow because this guy said this. I'm just a guy on YouTube. If and when, and more likely when, there is a Black Swan event, stocks are going to plummet. A lot like, I'm going to say at least as bad as 2020 dropped, probably worse. And they won't recover again the way they did. Because all you need to do is do a little bit of math. Is who are the people currently looking into things? They're looking for what? Corruption, manipulation, control, holding it over the citizens of this country. Well, what do we know about stock buybacks that I was talking about earlier? We know that all the shares that they've printed and put out there is rehypothecated to the tune of at least 5 to 1, at least. Now that I've said that, I want you to understand this. When and if that Black Day comes and it ends up being a 2-week event or a month-long event, and everybody says, oh my God, the sky is falling, do not. This is my best advice. This is what I'm saying to myself. I'm not telling you financial advice. I have to repeat this to myself constantly. My crypto prices are falling through the floor. Do not, Allan, do not sell your coins. Do not do that. Because the valuations that you're going to get when there's blood in the streets isn't going to save you anyway, right? Let's face facts. The only ones that I believe will recover are crypto and precious metals. And it's going to look bleak and dark, and the blood will be everywhere in the streets. It's a metaphor. You don't need a crystal ball to understand that just because you have a Black Day and you have a depressionary situation with a crash in a market, that doesn't mean commerce in the world isn't going to go on one day. All depressions turn around and go the other way. In fact, after every depression, the best thing to own after those was secured assets, the most secure assets. And now I'm going to tie that into stocks for you, Wayne. You want stocks that the people need. You want stocks that make a buck. No more zombie company. You have to have crypto that's going to last. You don't want DeFi, you don't want meme coins. You don't want anything that doesn't have a profitability to it. That's called deflationary mess. You want something that can generate a monthly income for you. I'm not talking about dividends here. I'm talking about product that Coca-Cola or whoever, not a great example for a depressionary time. Alcohol comes to mind. But people are going to buy those things and they're going to return a monthly income. Therefore, that stock will come back. All the others, gone, worthless, dust. And they will never come back for all the reasons of this show tonight. Because the future is not stocks. Again, one man's opinion. But the future, even beyond precious metals, is crypto, in my opinion. Are precious metals going to come back? Of course they will. They'll always be relevant. You know, they're God's money, if you will. I understand all that. I love it. Okay, let's see. I've got to roll. I'm 5 minutes late. I want to say this in closing. Again, I'm going to reiterate the point I just made. A crash in the market will happen. A downturn is going to happen. If you think selling your XRP at 20 cents is going to save you and your family, it's probably not, right? But remember, none of them, no depressions or crashes ever stay where they are. And the most the generated valuation of the people that held on through those, in the past, it's always been precious metals, were the wealthiest people 2 to 10 years after depression. That's generational wealth. And you have the opportunity with not just precious metals, you have that opportunity with the solid, stable, good foundation crypto that we all love. That is my best advice, because when and if that crash, because the dollar has to be reset or everything has to be reset, your crypto will recover and it will blow your mind. The monetary wealth that will come to you, not life wealth, monetary wealth will come to you and your family. It will be a generational change. That will be the light switch of all future of mankind will say, oh, that was the death of digits. This is the birth of crypto. With that, I want to end by thanking you all. I love you all, and I appreciate you all. And I'm very, who is this Staple Crew person? LNU clone. This is a bot right here, guys. I believe. The Staple Crew, I didn't post that. Okay. Joanna, Becky, get rid of that thing, would you? All right. I want to say thank you all for humoring this old guy on YouTube with my 3-4 shows a week, and I really appreciate you. I really hope that I get to meet each and every one of you one day, and I would love that to happen. If you go to a crypto show and I happen to be there, please interrupt the conversation I'm having with whoever to look me in the eye and shake my hand and introduce yourself. Tell me who you are. Tell me what your dog's name is, and tell me how much you love your dog and your wife and your family. Okay? With that, guys, I love you all very much. And I am trying to get out of here. And I am